One of the world's most anticipated trade deals is here. India and the UK have just finalized a game-changing free trade agreement that could reshape their economic futures. Breaking international trade barriers, India and the UK have successfully concluded their free trade agreement. From whiskey tariffs to IT job visas, this deal covers it all. What does the India-UK free trade agreement mean for your job, your business, and the global economy? Let's break down this landmark deal that's making headlines worldwide. The India-UK Free Trade Agreement, FTA, recently concluded as announced by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, marks a significant milestone in bilateral economic relations. Below are the key details about the FTA based on available information and the context of the negotiations. Background and context. Initiation of talks. Negotiations for the India-UK FTA began in January 2022, following the UK's exit from the EU, which allowed it to pursue an independent trade policy. The agreement is seen as a major post-Brexit trade achievement for the UK and a step towards strengthening India's trade ties with Western economies. Rounds of negotiations. The FTA talks progressed through 14 rounds, with the final stages focusing on resolving contentious issues. The negotiations were paused temporarily due to general elections in both countries in 2024, but resumed in early 2025. Completion status. As of April 2025, 90% of the agreement was reported to be finalized, with outstanding issues related to tariffs on whiskey, automobiles, and pharmaceuticals. By late April, 25 out of 26 policy areas were agreed upon, indicating near completion. The recent announcement by PM Modi confirms the successful conclusion of the talks. Key features of the FTA. Scope. The FTA is comprehensive, covering 26 policy areas, including trade in goods, services, investments, and intellectual property rights. It aims to reduce or eliminate tariffs on a majority of traded goods, 90 to 95%, and minimize non-tariff barriers to boost trade in services and bilateral investments. Economic impact. Trade boost. The agreement is expected to significantly enhance bilateral trade, currently valued at approximately $41 billion. Around USD 50 billion. It could increase trade by USD 15 billion by 2030. Job creation. The FTA is projected to support over 600,000 jobs across both nations, with opportunities in sectors like advanced manufacturing, clean energy, financial services, and professional services. UK GDP growth. The UK government estimated that the FTA could increase its GDP by $3 billion by 2035 in 2019 prices, equivalent to a 0.22% rise. Key sectors. For India, the FTA will enhance market access for Indian goods like textiles, leather, footwear, and pharmaceuticals, and improve opportunities for skilled professionals in IT and healthcare. India also sought exemptions from the UK's Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, CBAM, for carbon-intensive goods like steel. For the UK prioritized reduced tariffs on whiskey, automobiles, and access to India's legal, architectural, and financial services sectors. The agreement also supports the UK's financial services through a parallel bilateral investment treaty, BITE, mobility and visas. One of the most contentious issues, the question of visas for Indian workers, has been largely resolved. India pushed for better access for its professionals and students, while the UK sought to avoid commitments on social security payments for Indian workers. The final agreement likely includes balanced provisions on mobility. Double Contribution Convention. Alongside the FTA, PM Modi announced the agreement on a Double Contribution Convention, likely referring to a Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, DTAA, or a similar mechanism to prevent double taxation of income, further facilitating trade and investment. Specific details on this convention are not yet fully elaborated in available sources. Challenges overcome. Tariff and non-tariff barriers. Negotiations faced hurdles over tariff reductions, particularly for UK whiskey and cars, and India's protectionist policies in sectors like legal and financial services. Both sides worked to balance domestic industry protection with market access. Geopolitical and political delays. Changes in UK leadership from Boris Johnson to Keir Starmer and India's general elections in 2024 delayed progress. However, renewed commitment from both leaders in 2025 including meetings at the G20 summit in Brazil, accelerated the talks. Regulatory differences. India's demand for local judicial remedies before international arbitration in investment disputes and the UK's push for liberalisation in India's regulatory environment were points of contention, now resolved to mutual satisfaction. Strategic significance. Post-Brexit trade strategy. For the UK, the FTA is a cornerstone of its post-Brexit trade agenda, positioning it to tap into India's booming economy, projected to be the world's third largest by 2028. India's global trade ambitions. For India, the FTA aligns with its shift toward Western trade partners, UK, EU, US, to diversify markets and boost exports, reducing reliance on traditional partners like ASEAN. It supports India's Make in India initiative and enhances its global trade standing. Bilateral Investment Treaty, BITE. Negotiated in parallel, the BITE aims to protect investments, particularly benefiting the UK's financial services sector and encouraging foreign direct investment, FDI, inflows into India. Geopolitical context. The FTA comes amid global trade uncertainties, including US tariffs under the Trump administration, prompting both nations to seek stable bilateral arrangements. Future prospects. Implementation timeline. While the talks have concluded, the agreement awaits formal signing and ratification. PM Modi indicated that UK PM Keir Starmer will visit India soon, possibly to finalize the signing. The FTA is expected to take effect by fall 2025, pending parliamentary approvals. Strategic partnership. Beyond trade, the FTA strengthens the UK-India strategic partnership, covering energy, security, technology, and green energy collaborations. Starmer proposed upgrading bilateral relations at the 2024 G20 summit, signaling deeper cooperation. Impact on other FTAs. The successful conclusion may influence India's ongoing FTA negotiations with the EU, US, and Gulf Cooperation Council, as well as the UK's trade talks with other nations. Limitations and notes. Outstanding details. While 90% of the agreement was finalized by April 2025, specific terms on unresolved issues, e.g., are whiskey tariffs, CBAM exemptions, are not fully detailed in available sources. The final text will clarify these points. Critical perspective. India's historically protectionist stance and the UK's high regulatory standards posed risks of a thin FTA, but the comprehensive nature of the agreement suggests both sides made significant concessions. The long-term success depends on implementation and enforcement. Conclusion. The India-UK FTA, described as ambitious and mutually beneficial by PM Modi, is a landmark agreement that will boost trade, investment, and job creation while deepening strategic ties. Covering goods, services, and investments, it addresses key issues like visas and tariffs, with a parallel bit and double contribution convention enhancing its scope. The agreement positions both nations to navigate global trade challenges and sets a precedent for future FTAs. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown of the India-UK Free Trade Agreement useful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for more updates on major global developments. See you in the next one.